lot of nuts!
Welcome back, hyenas. Today, we're talking about a kick streamer who found himself involved in a professional amateur wrestling match in which he decided to jump into the ring and then assault one of the wrestlers so bad that that dude is still in the hospital despite the fact that this happened 3 days ago. Wrestler is brutally beaten by Rampage Jackson's son. No one is going to consent to broken bones, reports Salvador Hernandez of the Los Angeles Times. Now, this took place Saturday night live on Kick by Raja Jackson, who is Quinton Rampage Jackson's son. Quinton has a few kids, but if you don't know Rampage Jackson, he was the heavyweight MMA champion back in like 2018, and he himself streams on Kick as well. His son, Raja Jackson, is not currently a UFC fighter or an MMA fighter or anything, but obviously is ever so naturally gifted, being the son of a former heavyweight champion and practicing some mixed martial arts himself. How does a dude like this end up in a situation where he beats an unconscious man with 22 unanswered punches to the head, leaving him hospitalized to the point where we still don't have an update confirming that the dude is awake or okay as of even right now? So the story starts several hours before the actual incident in the ring. Raja Jackson is streaming live on Kick and is attending an amateur professional wrestling. I'm saying professional wrestling so that you guys think WWE and whatever, but this is an amateur showcase. It's a place where like amateur wrestlers, not big name people, try out their stuff, put on a show, people pay money to go and see tickets. It's where you see all those crazy fights with people like bashing fluorescent light bulbs and thumbtacks and crashing through tables and everything, but it's for a crowd of like 200 instead of like 20,000 like you see on TV or what have you. Raja Jackson is live streaming himself on Kick, and he gets into an altercation with a man by the name of Sicko Stu, and this happens.
Hell no. Yeah.
Hey, hey, I think that's a little. Oh, you don't show it? Easy. He's not a fucking worker, bro. Calm down.
Yeah, what the fuck was that?
You're good.
What the fuck was that?
You don't show it? Dude, he's not a fucking worker, bro.
What the fuck was that? Hold on. I don't play that shit, bro.
So Sicko Stu, seeing Raja Jackson and the cameras and everything around him, I'm not going to say exactly what happened because this is part of what's sort of up for interpretation with everybody making discussions about how this went wrong, whether or not Raja Jackson or the promotion itself was at fault. But you can see that Sicko Stu walks up to him and then bashes a soda can into the side of his head. The conversation that you can hear around is a little bit of a key point here. One individual goes, "Why did he do that? He's not a fucking worker." And if you guys don't know, basically when they say work in professional wrestling, it sort of means fake. It means like propped, stage. It doesn't mean fake in that you're not getting hit with a steel chair or you're not getting punched in the face, but it's being worked, as in it's being done for show. Those punches aren't real. Soda cans can be like deflated with a thumbtack so that you don't feel the full impact and like the soda goes flying. You know, they hit you on the head anticipating that you're going to sort of duck your head. Like they do a lot of stuff to make sure that you don't get hurt because it's a work. It's not like a real fight. And so when you hear that individual go, "Why did he do that? He's not a worker," he's basically saying, hey, Raja Jackson isn't a wrestler. He doesn't know that, you know, we might be doing this for show or for promotion or whatever. He's just like a normal guy. Another guy goes, "Is he not going to sell it?" Which is, selling it is like, you know, when somebody slams you, you like jump up, grab your bag, you like make a big show to make it look painful, good for the camera, good for the audience or everything. The individual who says, "Is he not going to sell it?" is clearly under the impression that, hey, we're doing this as a bit. We're doing this to hype up a moment, to get people excited so that when we hop in the ring, we can be like, oh, these guys have beef, blah, 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 whatever. Play into the storyline. And when he says, "Is he not going to sell it?" because he just stands there and looks angry at him, he's like, hey, are you not going to fall to the ground, make a big spectacle, like play into the obviously fake beef we're trying to create? Somebody else responds, "He's not a worker. He's not a professional wrestler. He's not here for that. He's like interviewing or whatever." But Sickles 2 goes on to realize that, you know, he saw the cameras, he saw this individual who was like, oh, here's a moment for me to set up something. Maybe this guy wants to get in the ring with me later. Let's make some beef. Let's make some fake arguments between us. Let's get everybody hyped up, blah, 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 whatever. Clearly reading the room wrong. And that's my interpretation of what happened at this point, right? A clip just a few minutes after this altercation shows Sicko Stu apologizing to Raja Jackson for not realizing that this wasn't part of the act and he wasn't there to, like, you know, be messed with or whatever.
I apologize. I appreciate it.
I didn't know. I thought you were working. Camera.
I get it. We're not working out. Well, he's gonna come out on your mat, too. I know you keep thinking we're working. We're always working. I get it. Yeah. Fucking feel that.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, bro. Hey, it's gonna all work out.
Yeah.
So just a few minutes later, in the same location, and again, hours before these guys get into the ring and what happens, Sicko Stu apologizes to Raja Jackson and goes, hey man, I'm sorry. I thought you were a worker. I saw the cameras. I looked at it like, oh, you're a relatively big, buff guy. You're here backstage with the other wrestlers. You've got a camera on you. You know, I thought I'd make a clip. I thought I'd bash a soda can into the side of your head. You could get into the ring. We could make some great content for you. I didn't realize that you weren't to be messed with, you know. And then that second wrestler comes up and goes, hey, I know you thought we were working. We're always working. We're always on. It's always showtime. Everything is always to try to hype up the show. You know, you're in an environment where you're surrounded by professional wrestlers. You're a relatively big dude with a camera on you going there to make content. Is it completely irrational to think that somebody might choke slam you, put you through a table, push you in the chest and be like, hey man, you want to get in the ring? Like, you hop into the lion's den, you're going to get bit a little bit. But regardless, Sicko Stu recognizes that this went too far or that this individual wasn't part of the show, to his mistake, apologizes several times. Raja seems to accept his apology, and this is where stuff starts to go south. If the only thing you saw was the first part of that stream, you would anticipate that this would be the end of it. And in a few situations, it might be. The thing that you need to keep in mind is that Raja Jackson is a little bit of a psychopath, and there would be clips that people would begin to bring up in between this altercation and him hopping in the ring, with him getting agitated with kick streamers, and his chatters calling him a bitch, saying that you're a pussy for not doing anything. His own father, who is also live on Kick at the time, is making fun of him for hanging around with men in booty shorts, as he calls it, calling his son a bitch, which is, they've got an interesting relationship, but you know, these are guys who have been fighting this entire lives. Not great home environment between them. Rampage Jackson has very famously said that the first person he ever knocked out was his dad for talking shit to him. Is it any surprise that his relationship with his son could be this sort of teasing, poking, prodding sort of thing? Anyway, a number of clips have come up that have clearly shown that Raja Jackson was very much agitated by his chat, by his dad, by the entire predicament, just boiling with anger and rage up until sitting front row at Sicko Stu's stage, waiting for his moment to get into the ring.
Hey, yo, did you get jumped by a bunch of dudes in tights?
You said what?
Your stream, you was hugging on a dude in some damn tights.
Man, shut the fuck up.
Man, you shut the fuck up. I looked at your stream, nigga, you were hugging on some dude in some booty shorts.
I wasn't fucking hugging on nobody.
I saw you, nigga. I saw you hugging. I saw you hugging on your coach.
You need to stop that shit. My dad can't never call me a bitch. Straight up. How many subs to knock him out? That's a good question. I'm gonna fake crash out. All right, bet. You about to see you about to see how fake of a crash out I am. Tired of everybody fucking playing with me and shit. Think I'm always playing and shit. Call me bitch and shit. Not no fucking bitch, bro. At the end of the day, I'm gonna stand up for my fucking self because I'm tired of everybody fucking playing with me, bro. Real shit.
So after the altercation with Sicko Stu, obviously Raja Jackson is still hanging around because he's there to watch the show as part of his kick stream and everything. Another wrestler who, for some reason, clip I can't find, comes to him backstage and goes, hey man, I know you're upset about the whole thing. Sorry it went that way, but you can get your receipt in the ring. If you don't know what a receipt is, I feel like it's self-explanatory, but in wrestling terms, a receipt is effectively payback. When you say somebody's getting the receipt, it means you were wronged in some way, or somebody started beef, or something happens in the ring, and the narrative is that you were wronged, and now you can get your payback in the ring. So he's basically saying, hey man, you can be part of the show, jump in during Sicko Stu's set, do whatever you gotta do, get your revenge out on him, get your receipt. And clearly he means, like, you know, hit him back. If it makes you feel better, throw a couple punches at the dude, whatever. He's given a script that is basically powerbomb him into the mat and then throw a couple punches. Somebody will take you off, like pull you off of him. That'll be your bit, you know, whatever, relieve some stress. Clearly, He is not saying to powerbomb him so hard that he ends up unconscious from the impact. The dude does not move after this point, has his arms on the mat, and then throw, I am not joking, 22 unanswered punches to this dude's head and face before two separate wrestlers need to jump up and pull him off of him. The entire time, Sicko Stu is not moving, is not answering back. The ref should have jumped in. The promotion should have jumped in. The wrestler should have been more aware of what was going on. But at the end of the day, this is Raja Jackson, antagonized clearly by all the footage that you've seen, by his dad, by his chat, by everybody calling him a bitch. He gets emotional about it and then literally says, I'm going to crash out, I'm going to hurt this dude, and then proceeds to do exactly that. Now, I'm not gonna play this entire clip. I want to show you guys the scenes just so that you can see him throwing the punches, the wrestlers trying to drag him off, the fact that Sicko Stu has not moved this entire time. Raja Jackson then immediately leaves the venue and goes on that little rant in that last clip that I showed you, talking about how he's sick of everybody calling him a bitch. Oh, I'm gonna show him blah blah blah. He proceeds to get a phone call from somebody at the venue letting him know, hey man, you went way too far. It's been like 5-10 minutes or something. Sicko Stu has not moved. We're calling paramedics, but that dude is still not awake. And after being taken to the hospital, and at this point, again, this is 3 days later, that dude, to my knowledge, still is not okay. I don't know if he's awake or stabilized, but every headline that I've seen that is an update about Sicko Stu's situation at this point is not he's healthy, fine, talking, and good. To my understanding, he's still basically unconscious at this point 3 days later. The first headlines that went out about this were calling this attempted murder, that this dude might not wake up from this beating, and at this point, we still don't know if he has.
I just saw the video.
Shit pissed me off though, Andre.
I understand that, but now they can't wake the nigga up. He's fucking in the ring, fucking flatline, bro.
My bad.
You didn't have to do all that shit. I understand y'all had heat. You didn't have to fucking take advantage.
At this point, there's currently 2 points of contention, or two sort of ways to look at this, basically. And there are a couple big public figures, basically everybody on one side, and then a few MMA fans, Chael Sonnen, Rampage Jackson, Sean Strickland, and a few other people on the other side of it. The very obvious side of it is this was an assault. This was attempted murder. This was very much Raja Jackson crashing out in a manner that nobody anticipated and going absolutely too far, and only stopped when he did because he was dragged off the dude, but very much looked like he would have continued to hit this dude over and over again if nobody had stopped him until he had killed him. And the only reason that he didn't is because of circumstances, because somebody happened to pull him off. He went way off script. And it's clear from all the footage that we saw that the dude was angry and emotional and was not attempting to just get his receipt, his revenge, in a manner that would be akin to a professional wrestler in a ring, right? The dude clearly went too far. The other side of it is basically the promotion should have known better in one way or another. Either they should not have allowed a random, effectively, somebody who is not trained in professional wrestling, to come into the ring and do professional wrestling moves. The power bomb that Raja Jackson landed on him landed Sicko Stu directly on the back of his head. If you watch any professional wrestling match ever, you know a power bomb, when you pick someone up and slam them on their back, is on the shoulders, right? You don't hit the head whatsoever with a move that carries that much momentum. Raja Jackson did exactly that. From what we can see, might have knocked him unconscious just from that power bomb, which is weird because his dad has a very iconic clip of him in his glory days power bombing a dude unconscious in exactly the same manner, and then proceeding to throw 22 unanswered punches. Again, the conversation is like, he was told that somebody would pull him off, and because nobody did, who's to say that Raja Jackson wasn't supposed to continue to throw 20 full force legitimate punches at this unconscious man's head? He was just doing what he was told and getting his receipt. Nobody pulled him off until they did, and when they did, he stopped or whatever. In my opinion, an incredibly stupid take, but anybody who is trying to defend Raja Jackson's actions in this manner are saying something along the lines of, it was started by Sicko Stu when he slammed that soda can into the side of his head. He was told that it was okay for him to get his receipt. He did what he was told, which was jump into the ring, power bomb him, and punch him until somebody pulled him off. And that is what he did technically. And at the end of the day, if it went wrong from that point on, it's because the promotion or the wrestlers or somebody in the organization putting on the show didn't adhere to their guidelines of making sure that the wrestlers are safe in this manner. At this point, there have been a number of updates, but nothing super interesting as far as moving the storyline along. Rampage Jackson has since put out a few statements talking about the situation, one in which he tweets basically saying, "I'm aware of the situation. My prayers go out to Sicko Stu, and I hope that he's okay. My apologies to Kick specifically," which a lot of people have called out for being like, you know, you're basically just looking out for your career and you don't actually care about the health of this man who was basically beaten half to death by your son. In another street interview, somebody asked Rampage Jackson about the situation, and he basically states it's unfortunate. There's a lot of racist people saying that I'm a bad father for letting this happen, which on one hand is like, how much can you control your son when he's in his 20s and what have you? But the other half of it is obviously their home life has always been very martial arts driven, very violent. Him and his son have gotten into physical altercations where they have knocked each other out or gotten very physical. Rampage Jackson, as I mentioned before, has very famously said that the first person he ever knocked out was his own father. And so obviously everybody looks at that sort of home life and their relationship with each other, and the clips of him antagonizing his son about being bested by men in booty shorts, as he puts it, just an hour before the altercation took place. You can clearly see why some people would be saying that Rampage Jackson's fathership to Raja might have something to do with his internalized rage and what ended up happening in that ring that night. Chael Sonnen, for whatever reason, is the only big individual saying that he feels like it's a fault of the promotion and you can't be that mad at Raja Jackson when he was just doing what he was told to do in the ring. Sean Strickland, former middleweight champion, not somebody you should listen to whatsoever, by the way, is basically saying, don't call for jail time. I went to jail. The kid is young. There should be rehabilitation, but putting him in jail is just going to worsen his situation or what have you. Mr. Beast has put out a tweet saying that he sounded Sicko Stu is a veteran, ex-military, who everybody is sharing this story of the fact that he got into professional wrestling in order to deal with PTSD that he got from serving in the military. And so this seems like the worst sort of individual to have this sort of violent outbreak towards, as somebody who's just trying to work with his own internalized demons, something that Raja Jackson clearly was unable to do. There's been a Kickstarter or a GoFundMe set up in order for medical bills that I believe has raised upwards of $30,000 at this point. But there is no update on Sicko Stu for the most part. I've seen one Twitter account that has posted that Sicko Stu is evidently awake, but still in a critical condition. He is facing broken teeth as well as broken bones in his face, and they don't see him getting much better as of yet. But all of those reports seem to be coming by other wrestlers in the venue who seem to have connections and be able to call either Sicko Stu or his family to get that information, but nothing official as of yet. As of right now, we don't have any update on whether or not Sicko Stu is awake, conscious, and is going to be okay, nor do we have any information about the arrest of Raja Jackson. At this point, there have been a few people making headlines talking about how there's a police warrant out investigating the Raja Jackson situation, but there is no warrant out for his arrest. He has not been detained by any sort of police as of this point, and so at this point, who knows what's going on. There have also been some headlines stating that other wrestlers in the promotion have been told by the promotion to not talk to the police, to not work with law enforcement and give them any sort of information, which sucks, and obviously on the outside sounds like them trying to cover up anything going wrong, but if you think about it, it's clearly them not trying to get in trouble over them letting a random, somebody who isn't professionally trained in amateur wrestling, to come into the ring and do something like this. They might be liable or not be able to go about it the way that they want to, lose their license, not be able to hold these shows or whatever because of what went down, which in my opinion just sort of exacerbates the extent of how bad it is of the thing that Raja Jackson did, if that makes sense. But that's where we are right now. In my opinion, professional wrestling in whatever capacity is not an excuse to beat a man half to death, right? There is no situation whatsoever in a professional wrestling ring that is designed for entertainment in which you are given an okay to break bones in somebody's face, knock teeth out of them, or even to knock them unconscious, or even to throw a full force punch at somebody's head. That's not a thing that you do in pro wrestling whether you are trained or not. In my opinion, it doesn't matter what kick chat was antagonizing, what his dad was antagonizing, or how much internalized rage you have. The fact that you jump into a ring with other professional wrestlers, no part of that is an excuse to do the amount of damage that you did to an individual who, by the way, couldn't fight back, right? Even when you jumped into the ring, you guys were both aware that there was going to be a power bomb and a few shots, but Sicko Stu could not defend himself. He was setting himself up to be slammed into the mat because that's what the script was saying, but he was not anticipating being knocked out, and only when he was knocked out did you proceed to wail on him. This was effectively a sucker punch. This isn't even getting your revenge or your receipt or getting back at a dude who smashed a soda can on your head. This wasn't a fair fight. You threw 20 punches at the dude when he couldn't defend himself. You might as well have been punching a baby or a girl in the crowd or a random guy on the street as far as preparedness in anticipation of that level of assault. This isn't even, oh, let me show the internet how big of a man I am. This is the most bitch shit ever, my opinion. Why didn't you do any of this when he slammed the soda can in your head? When he was staring you in the face a foot taller than you, when he was awake and conscious? Why didn't you throw punches then? When you were surrounded by a bunch of people that would have stopped you? You waited until the dude wasn't ready, wasn't conscious, everybody else in the ring was still tired from their match, to throw 20 haymakers at his head? Come on, that's bitch shit. Let me know what you guys think about the situation in the comments, and subscribe so you don't miss further videos. If there are any updates about the situation, obviously I will make a video and let you guys know. And a big thank you to the patrons for your support and keeping the show running. I cannot thank you guys enough, and I will catch you guys on the next one. Peace.